If you didn't join us there in the first half, explosive first 30 minutes, and then really different game in the last 10. Really, both teams just slowing it way down.
Well, we saw a stretch where Red Handley just held on to the ball for 3.5 minutes. About a 4-minute stretch where the ball was only out of his stick for about 10 to 15 seconds, if that.
And you saw in that play, both teams just completely willing to let that happen as Gators weren't attacking the net, so Guelph was just saying, stay on out there.
Guelph coming around the outside. There's a pass from Mike Burke over to Curtis Knight. Knight's shot goes off of Dave Bigley.
Nice trail check by the Gator midfielder there. I believe it was 24 there, Andrew McNeil getting in on his stick and knocking that one loose.
Just enough to send it off.
As again, Knight getting lots of opportunities in close. Sooner or later, he's definitely he's going to bury one of those if Guelph wants to push this lead up.
Liam Corbett, kind of the sixth guy in the offensive set out there for Guelph, and he has been very involved in the offense. Just the other five are real veterans, a lot of guys with some NLL pro lacrosse experience. There's Corbett going across to Serville. He's got a couple of goals for Guelph. Lost the handle there, but gets it back.
And Corbett does actually have one of the 6 goals for Gryphons so far today. Knight, nice move.
Oh, big save by Bigley. What a dodge by Curtis Knight, going right down the pipe, getting the shot off, and that will create a power play, a man-up situation for the Guelph Gryphons once again.
Very nice move, getting right by his defender. As we're going to see the replay of it. As you can see, Knight just driving down hard. Takes a little extra slash there from Gator defender Nico Brands, and that's going to put them to the power play.
Great job by Knight getting control of his stick after that split dodge. They're moving around. Critch goes out top. Burke passes to Serville, and he buries it for the hat trick. That's just tic-tac-toe, very simple ball movement by the Gryphons, looking for a weakness in the Bishop's defense to penetrate.
Very nice move there. Again, the power play, getting it around. Gators not able to slide quick enough, and that's going to leave Serville open on the side there. As you can see on this replay, Gators came up, and he was wide open. And number 17, Joel Prairie, unable to get across the crease in time there before he gets that shot off.
Well, you can see what you saw there was 2 Gators going up after Mike Burke. And you just can't double team Burke and leave Ryan Serville all alone, and that costs them the lead.
And yeah, again, 7-6 lead coming here now for the Gryphons. First one of the second half for either team, as the Prairie knocks that loose.
Serville going after the Bishop's defender, Bryson Weberg.
Weberg there, maybe a bigger guy, but if he gets the ball in his stick, a very, very soft hands type of player, and can make quite a few fakes to get away from his attackman.
There's Corbett spying the goalie, a long outlet pass. They left the player unattended, and it immediately gets out to him.
That was Shane Jackson there that was open. He's able to scoop that off to Mason Austin. And the Gators are going to try to get back in, tie this game back up here.
Bishop's behind the net. Ryan Dewar once again being watched by Matthew Lyons. Lyons, who's really been matched up with Dewar a lot. That's a big matchup for Guelph. You need somebody who can contain Dewar. You're not going to stop him most likely. He had 29 goals this year in 12 games.
And he's already had 2 already on the evening, so going to have to watch out for him. If he gets open, he can take a rip. And he normally has a pretty good accuracy on his shot to get it past that goaltender.
Dewar slides back down behind the net as we have a drive towards the net by Mason Austin.
And that's Alex Millen going to get that shot going low corner there, just sneaking by the goaltender, Delaney, and Gators tie this all back up again.
Millen knocked to the turf by his teammates in the celebration. He's a guy who said can do a lot of things out on the lacrosse field, and he shows it here that he can be an offensive threat. He will just drive down the outside lane.
Just shooting, he's coming, you see his sticks up high, getting the goalie when the shot comes, drawing to him, and he'll shoot it right down at the goalie's feet, making it almost impossible for him to get down in time.
Took advantage of Scott Johnson having to work his way around Calvin Holland, his teammate there. Bishops comes up with the ball. They tie the game at 7 and get the ball off the face-off.
Looks like the Gators have been using Etienne Bouchard a little more often on the face-offs, as they will run a rotation of three different face-off guys throughout the season to try to give teams a different look all the time.
Bishop's slowing it down again, taking their time. Once again, that's Weberg with the ball. You mentioned he's a big fella, but soft hands. He's going to go for a bit of a run up over midfield. Now he's heading towards the net. He's going to get a shot off. He's going to spin.
He's going to lose it, but
lose the ball.
Battle for it on the ground. Gators end up with it, though, but lose it again.
Series of turnovers. There's the outlet pass.
And, of course,
Curtis Knight once again involved in the play, and a nice little pass there by Guelph. That was Nicholas Workman with the touch pass to Knight to help them clear their side of the field.
And Gators back is Weberg able to get back down after he went for a little run there.
Bishops have actually put a long pole in the offensive end here.
As you can actually see, because they only have the 3 long poles on the field right now. Having that man at center, look, you can see him just screaming.
Yeah, he's screaming to try and get somebody to come.
Just
and
like telling a
places with him.
midfielder, get off, and so I can get down on defense. And, you know, with most smarter teams that use smart coaching will do that type of play. They send their defender or attack when they want change to the middle of the field because that's the shortest distance back into center.
Yeah. And
it gives a chance for the guy just to sprint up to center instead of having to go to the bench to get off.
But he had to wait for about 20 seconds before somebody realized he was there.
And he was just sort of screaming and yelling. You see his hands just giving that pull, come to me symbol.
Guelph taking their time, moving the ball around. Now they come out. Critch is going to retreat, loses the ball. Trying to get it back. There's Weberg that gets it. We've got a penalty coming as the flag is up.
Two
more.
Looks like at least those last 2 ones are going to come against Gators as they're a little extra push going to the ground after the whistle, but we'll have to get confirmation down on the field.
Pat Gregoire is over between the benches right by the penalty area, so he should be able to see what happens. Looks like Curtis Knight is heading off for the initial penalty. And maybe Brett Ulbicus as well. See if he's going for a penalty or just to the bench.
Hard to tell sort of as neither team is set up offensively or defensively yet. So we're going to see here on the replay.
I thought it was the check by Serville there was the first one, the cross check to the back. Knight is knocked to the ground. You can see him down on the ground. Yeah, Serville does have a penalty.
Looks to be 2 against Guelph and only 1 against the Gators here.
So Bishop's in the 7-7 game. We'll have a bit of a man-up situation.
Again, the second time we've seen a 5-4 man-up scenario, something teams normally wouldn't practice as much as it does. It's a sort of an uncommon occurrence. You see 6-on-4 more often than a 5-on-4.
Ball on the ground. Hard battle for it. Nice job to pull it back to himself there by Nicholas Workman. Workman having a strong third quarter here.
And definitely his name's popped up a few times here.
Ryan Serville has been released. He's back on the field, so we're now even strength. Each team still 1 man down.
Guelph doing a nice job here getting away from this double team. That long pole there, number 4.
Matthew Lyons
tonight. Splitting both the Gators attackmen there and just able to get away and get a clean pass off. That's that's a harder thing to do sometimes, as we were saying with those long poles. A little harder to control sometimes in tight spaces.
Here comes Curtis Knight and the Bishops player as well coming out. So that's Lee Kanakin. So we'll be back to full and even strength. Knight's going to slow things down while he waits for Ulbicus to get out into the play. Now he'll give it to Ulbicus. Serville comes up to set a pick. Ulbicus uses it, goes back to Critch behind the net.
Guelph starting to attack now. It's what we're used to seeing from them.
Mike Burke will zip to the back line to get possession for Guelph. It was close. Just had about a step on the Bishop's player.
Yeah. For anyone new to field lacrosse there, when a shot goes off, it doesn't become the other team's possession if it goes out of bounds. It's the first team to get to that area gets it back. So you saw that Guelph took the shot and got it right back.
Curtis Knight with a shot. That one's stopped by Bigley. It goes off to the far side.
Same scenario as Guelph will retain possession here.
Ryan Seville this time the man closest to the line. He's going to give it over to Jordan Critch. Critch over to Liam Corbett. I don't know if you can pick it up below us, but a huge crowd of Bishops players who are ringing some bells and cheering, "Let's go Bishops." They're very excited about that save by Dave Bigley.
As a former member of the Gators squad here, knowing Gators, one of the best traveling teams in the country. Gators always love when they actually make these road trips to Ontario, knowing that they're going to get a huge fan support. As I saw in the dressing room when I went down to the bathroom, parents were filling up their dressing room with chocolate milk, bananas, all kinds of food for recovery in case they get in that game tomorrow. So they're ready to go right away. So one of the parts about if you go to Bishop, small town, small school, but very tight-knit community.
Let's go down to Pat Gregoire between the benches.
Thanks, Steve. If you notice that last possession there, Jordan Critch twice dodging and shooting right away from GLE. The goal line extended. It's looking like he's beaten his defender, but he's just getting right to the line, trying to get that quick shot off, but Bigley's not buying it. Maybe take one more step and look for that extra man and get that spot-up shot from the top, maybe for Curtis Knight.
That's how he was. Yeah, that's how he was successful earlier. Was a couple of passes from down around the goal line extended area, up to Corbett, who set up Knight for the one goal, and he found another player for another one of their goals. So maybe Chris trying to mix things up a little bit. We'll see if he goes back to making those passes as he comes out, or maybe the hard pass fake and then try the shot.
Looks like Gators sort of reverting back to the offense we saw at the end of the first half. They're just willing to slow this thing right down.
Well, I finally gives it up over to Rhett Handley. See if he holds on to it for another 3 or 4 minutes.
He's probably actually, if you think of just pure on-time possession, Handley might be the leader in today's game. And we have the stall called now on the field.
Lloyd dodging his way out. Or sorry, Gibson with the ball, bringing the ball out. Oh, nice shot. Just sliding off a pick there. And getting a shot off Mason Austin.
Beautiful goal there. The man out of High River, Alberta, able to get this. It's sort of very similar to the goal we saw Millen just score for the Gators, getting out on that far side away from us here and able to get it down low. We're going to see it on the replay here. Is Austin using Hanley there as a nice pick to get enough space and still add his man quite hard on him, able to get that shot off.
Yeah, Blaze McCullough does a pretty good job of slipping past that pick and being on Austin. Didn't have a whole lot of room to get that off, but he did get it through. Ball is pulled back.
And Austin definitely showing there why he was voted an All-Canadian this season. Gators not pulling any All-Canadians in the attack position, but 2 on the midfield side of the ball this year, showing that's a lot of where their offense is coming from.
Lead pass, one hop off the turf from Bigley. Heading up the field. Mason Geldart getting the ball up the field. Now Ryan Dewar has it.
Geldart, again, one of the Gators players, knowing that had to sort of change positions this season, as he was a short stick defender, actually All-Canadian a few seasons ago at that position, but switching into long pole this year with a shortage, doing a very good job on the season.
As a coach, you got to love to have that kind of versatility from players who can switch it up, play various roles. Gators trying to come back out from behind the net.
That's actually, I grew up with Geldart. Geldart only learning really field lacrosse when he came here to Bishops, coming out of Nova Scotia, where there is no real prominent field lacrosse program, and becoming quickly adapt to this game.
Yeah, Nova Scotia actually building their field lacrosse program, though. They're certainly getting more players involved, and a lot of people working hard to try and develop the game down in the Atlantic provinces.
The high school league finally started up about 2 seasons ago, so that's definitely a big boost. Something that I didn't get to see when I was playing high school back home there.
Bishops, again, being patient. The stall warning goes on, so they're going to have to stay down low.
Something we've seen quite a bit out of the Gators now, getting this stall warning against them. At one point, I almost forgot that it was on and how long they held the ball down in that offensive zone.
Gibson back to Kanakin. Sorry, Kanakin. Kanakin gives it back behind the net.
Nice dodges there. So for that stall call out there, if anyone sort of not aware of what a stall call is, it's when the referees are sort of deeming that the team is no longer trying to attack the net anymore, and they call what stall. So you see those pylons across the 35-yard line. Once the call is on, you are not allowed to cross back outside that 35-yard line, staying in the offensive zone. As Taryn Cook, the rookie, buries it for the Gators.
Cook with a solid season. He had 17 goals. You can see he's a finisher as he had just 2 assists.
And 10 of those goals in his first 3 games of the season as starting out. 4 goals in his very first game at CUFLA Lacrosse. 18-year-old kid out of New Brunswick.
And this is just a nice little slip move he makes. Takes the check and he shows some strength here, along with the quickness, obviously the speed to get around the top and get into a position. Again, just enough of a pick to create a bit of a disturbance there by Bishops. But they take a 2-goal lead thanks to that quickness and some toughness from Cook, being able to bounce off the check.
The toughness, one thing I'd noticed watching Cook play this season, has sort of no regard for taking an injury when he'll go right to the net and try to do anything he can.
Guelph comes up with the ball. Some wheels running it forward by Ben Heidecker. Heidecker's going to give it up. And Guelph will get things rolling. They're going to make a few changes while Curtis Knight holds on to the ball. You're not going to see any panic from this Guelph team with veterans like Knight and Serville and Burke and Critch.
You're saying with 3 years ago, the Gators scoring 4 goals in 2 minutes, so these Guelph team know that is very easily can happen.
Well, and last year, Queens scoring 3 goals in 20 seconds in the final minute of play against Western as they came back and won that quarterfinal. That shot's turned aside.
Absolute stunner there with the way that ended last, especially with how tight defensively Western always is every season.
It was shocking. Very exciting for the Queens Gales in their first ever Baggataway Cup. They're back this year, and they better not count on Western letting them make that kind of a comeback again.
And they almost didn't make it here this year, actually, as they had to go to overtime against Carleton in their divisional game.
That's true. Here comes Knight down the lane, scores as he's being tripped. Puts it in nonetheless. Great body control by Knight as he's falling to get that one just under the crossbar and pull Guelph within a goal.
Oh, that was absolutely gorgeous there. Just getting out to the outside, dodging hard, and just ripping that shot top corner past David Bigley. As we're going to get to see it on the replay here. As it looks like he just caught Joe LaPrairie off guard and just sped right by him as that flag goes flying.
By the time the flag got out, the ball's already in the net with that nice quick release by Knight.
So we're going to see Guelph's going to take nice advantage here, get a goal and a power play. Only 40 seconds left to seem to play here in the quarter.
Guelph looking to get the ball blown into play.
They definitely want to get one more and tie this game up before quarter ends.
Scott Johnston looking to pick it up, does so, and they've got possession. So we actually do have the time. It's pretty accurate there up in the corner of the screen to see what Guelph has left.
As they give it off, of course. Going to let Curtis Knight run this offense.
They've got only about 10 seconds to make something happen.
They do not know, though, on the field how much time is left, as it's in timekeeper's hands.
It looks like they're just going to let the quarter expire.
So I'm pretty sure if you're on a power play when the quarter expires, they're going to get possession right away to start off, no face-off. So a little bit of a smarter play there to not try to force something that would cause this face-off to happen at the start of the next quarter.
score 9-8 for the Bishops Gators, certainly setting up for an exciting fourth and final quarter here in the first game of the 2014 Baggataway Cup. And we'll take a quick break. I'm Stephen Stamp with Malcolm Westhaver and Pat Gregoire for JVI Sports Network. Make sure you come right back with us for the fourth quarter. Welcome back, lacrosse friends, to the Baggataway Cup for 2014. There you see how you can let us know who you think the top players in the game are.
Make sure you tweet at JVI Video, hashtag 3 stars to select from both squads out here today, as we're going to pick a player of the game from both Guelph and Bishops. And then again, make sure you stay tuned again for the next quarterfinal matchup, a rematch of last year's quarterfinal, Queens University and Western. So that's definitely going to be another great one. That goes at 9 o'clock.
There are 27 seconds remaining, Pat Gregoire has told us, in the Bishops penalty. Again, that's why Guelph just held on to the ball so they would get possession right off the bat.
That's always a smart play at the end of quarter if you have a power play there. Just not try to force something and maybe lose the possession on the next face-off.
Here's Serville rolling, makes the pass, and that one's going to get out of bounds. And let's go down to Pat Gregoire for a moment.
Yeah, guys, if you notice there, they're running the wheel on the power play there, but it looks like instead of Serville for that spot-up shot, they were looking for a pass on the crease there, and it just unfortunately might have been a little bit of a miscommunication. They had a chance there as I was speaking there. Back up to you guys.
Yeah, they did. And, I think Bishops was a little upset because they felt that was a pass and not a shot. And I kind of agree with them. That was a pass that went out of bounds and should have been Bishops' ball.
But yeah, the Guelph was able to take advantage on that call from the referee, and Serville was able to get through, but David Bigley standing tall and getting that back for the Gators now.
Now they run the ball up into the offensive zone. We are back to full strength. Ball gets down and it's scooped up. And it's knocked down though. Nice little play, but once again recovered.
Nice job by the long pole there.
Nicholas Wortman.
Wortman, yeah, I've heard his name a lot so far here. He's had a big game on the defensive side. A few knockdowns and a few strips so far.
Guelph taking their time on this clear. We're going to go to Curtis Knight. Has a man on him immediately in Mason Austin on the ride. And there's Curtis Knight. Doesn't always look like the fastest guy out there, but he finds ways to get where he needs to be. Curtis Knight. Now he gets the ball over to Mike Burke. Burke comes back to Knight.
As you saw when he crossing, when he was running up there, the stick completely protected the whole time. Doesn't matter what speed he was at, he wasn't going to let those Gators defenders get anywhere near that, and he just controlled it and got an easy clear. It's always a big advantage when you have a player on your team that you're able to do that. You can just go down, like throw it to him by your goalie and just say, get it up to the other end for us.
And he did get it not too far outside the crease. Olbicus is going to go up top tonight.
Nice drive on the outside.
Gets by Lapierre, shoots and scores.
Again,
ties it up.
Curtis Knight, that makes a hat trick for him here on the night. As he gets that, and that goal actually looks very similar to what we saw the Gators score in their last two goals with Millen and Austin. As Knight he got it, saying guy is defender La Prairie, and was just able to bury one low, as we're going to see here on the replay. Knight just using that speed of his and that experience with an NLL just to get that shot off before the others. There was a slide coming, but quick shot came off before.
Yeah, knowing exactly when to release the ball, using some quickness to get into open space. Great angle. Get himself in a good scoring position. Another tough battle for the opening, for the faceoff here. And Scott Johnson takes advantage as it bounces out to him. He actually looked like he was beaten on the draw, but it bounced off another player and came straight to him. He gets it for possession for Guelph.
And after that night goal, we're all tied up 9-9. As we were saying before, Steve, all you have to do is make it here to this tournament, and anyone can win. Any one of these 6 teams can go all the way and claim the Baggataway Cup championship.
We saw it last year when Guelph was a 3rd seed. Came in and had basically 3 straight upsets, beating Guelph, and then Brock, and then McGill.
Yeah, taking out the 2 number 1 seeds, both I believe last year.
Yeah.
Brock and McGill both undefeated. Guelph taking them down right at the right time.
Drive to the net by Mike Burke.
Actually, when you look at last year's tournament, this year pretty much exactly the same. Standings coming in.
Yep,
McGill 1, Bishops 2, Queen 3 out of the West, and then Brock, Western, and Guelph coming in 1, 2, 3 respectively out of the Western Division. So these teams definitely getting familiar with each other. Top teams in the nation seeing each other year after year.
Well, Nicholas Brands is down on the turf, and we have a penalty coming. He dropped hard after a nice run up the field.
And he's gingerly just jogging himself to the bench now. And there's going to be the whistle. Sort of the same thing when there is a penalty, when there's a flag down the field. If you don't make that initiation to go towards the net, the referee's just going to blow it down. As we're going to get to see here on the replay, this penalty call. You're going to see right down the bottom, Brands. Hard little angle. He just sort of, as Dewar and the defender there, Dick sort of just got caught up, and it looked like it got high up on Brands.
Yeah, Matthew Lyons colliding with him as he was just trying to stay with his man and get past Brands, it looked like, but the stick got up on him. A slashing call is what it was.
So this is going to give the Gators a power play.
Dewar's going to scoop up the ball behind the back line, pass it back out.
Guelph leaving him wide open behind the net. No one back there on this penalty kill.
You got to focus on the guys up above in the scoring positions. That pass gets away from Malloy. Hustling after it is the Guelph defender. He's going to scoop it up.
Hennessy there.
Yeah, Mike Hennessy. Here's Ryan Serville scooping up the ball, coming all the way back over midfield.
Nice.
5
seconds left. We're hearing down from the field. Again, for anyone new to CUFLA Lacrosse, most of the game the clock does run time up until the last 3 minutes of the game, where that's where they actually do stop the clock for every play. And that's the way it sort of goes. So like those last 3 minutes can come down to be very important, as many goals can go in with no chances, like teams sort of trying to slow it down or take extra time off the clock.
Curtis Knight gets that ball back up off the ground.
And as well with those clock, if you notice that the clock will stop on our screen here, that's because we can't keep track of the exact time. As we're saying, we'll try our best to keep track of it on time, but that is tough to do sometimes, as the official time clock is not up here, but it is over on the bench side.
Serville stripped. Here come the Gators back the other way. Long pole making the run down the field.
He thought about taking the shot for a second there.
Mason Geldart. That ball bounces away and scooped up.
Nice hit by Austin there to pop that out of the Guelph team, but they're going to get it right back in their stick.
Yeah, it popped away from David Nedelko, another All-Canadian, getting up into the offensive action, but it did pop away, but Guelph gets control of it. We are tied at 9-9 with just under 13 minutes to go here in the final 4th quarter.
Very exciting lacrosse
final
here.
It is. You're doing a nice job as a former Gator, staying nice and impartial, but I know inside party's got to be pulling for your boys in purple down there.
No, very tight. It's too, you can't see on the TV, but I do have my nice purple Gator shirt on, wearing always.
Mike Burke with a hard shot. Not sure if Bigley got a bit of that, if it went wide. I think Bigley did get some of it.
as I may be an alumni of the team, but I'm still a current actual student at Bishop's University. So a lot of purple in my blood here as I see these teams play every day.
Bishops takes a timeout. They're going to discuss things with just over 12 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. And remember to tweet us for your suggestions for the players of the game.
As this continues, this is the first game of the quest for the Baggataway Cup. Top team in Canada for University Field Lacrosse. Definitely one of the, in my opinion, so far in my life, the year I won, best day of my life so far. So I don't family or my own family or kids yet or anything like that. So that championship was the best day so far for me, and one team is going to get that feeling this weekend.
2011, the last time the Bishops Gators won that championship, and you were part of that club, and so you know what it's like for these guys on the Friday night when nothing's easy. I mean, there are no easy games at the Baggataway, and you come into this playing a Friday. Did you guys have to play Friday night, or were you straight to the semis?
We came in Friday night, number 2 seed, same as they are now. Had to take Western at home at their home field on the Friday night game before getting to move on to play these Guelph Gryphons, who were the number 1 team at the time in the country. Ryan with Cervelle just absolutely going off that season, being top scorer. Before Gator, we were down 3 goals, down 3 with 2 minutes to play, scoring 4 to come back to win before finally taking out Brock on about it. I just remember it was a 12-degree day, just absolutely great day for lacrosse to get that championship.
Certainly not 12 degrees here tonight, a little cooler, but a lovely night for lacrosse as Guelph is going to start with the ball behind the net. Jordan Critch.
I heard a few fans talking to me at halftime saying they were a little jealous of our heated booth up here.
Oh, and there's a quick release by Ryan Cervelle, his 4th goal of the game. Jordan Critch setting him up.
Beautiful goal there by the Gryphons, and they're going to take the lead back 10-9 over the Gators here. Nobody giving up more than base. Gators had a 2-goal lead at one point, I believe 9-7, but now 3 straight goals here for the Gryphons to retake the lead. So we're going to see this on the replay. As you'll just see the drive from behind the net. Pass off Cervelle, getting away from Weaver, just enough time to get that shot off. And a nice goal for the Gryphons.
We've talked about how many times in this game Jordan Critch has passed the ball out from behind the net, and that time he was well behind. He's generally been closer to the goal line extended, but that pass, he just saw the opening, and as Cervelle cut a little earlier than maybe Bishops was expecting, and that caught them off guard, led to that opening.
And it's that we've seen a few times on Guelph in the last few. That pass has been like dropped or knocked down by a Gator player, so Guelph able to get that one open, just keeping at it.
Burke will give it off to Curtis Knight. Go straight back to Burke. Guelph taking their time, moving it around outside. No rush for them, no stall warning on, so they can go back outside the 35, and Burke will do so. He likes to get up high and get a little speed going as he comes towards the net. That's what he's going to do now. He's driven wide. Gets to Critch, over to Cervelle. There's the cutter. Nice goal. Brett Elbicus, who's been pretty quiet tonight,
and
had a great tournament last year and has a big goal, his first of the game, to make it a 2-goal lead for these Guelph Gryphons, who clearly are at their best when they get to the Baggataway.
Oh, absolutely. You saw Guelph 4 losses on the season so far. Sort of uncharacteristic for a defending national champion. And they're able to just get things rolling. As we said earlier in the game, they were the only team to knock off Brock this season. Brock looking to go undefeated going into that last regular season game. But again, Albicus with a beautiful goal for the Gryphons. And they're going to score the last 4 in a row and now up 2.
Albicus going down low again. You said Bigley very strong down low, but they've managed to beat him down there a few times. There's the pass. Great one by Nedelko. Jordan Critch way up high near midfield. Now he's going to head back down behind the net. Actually, he's going to cut towards the net and then drift when he doesn't get the pass, just drift in behind.
Seeing maybe if he can catch his defender a little off guard there as he was jogging, then went for a sprint.
Mike Burke down low. He's going to make the pass out. And that is a goal by Jordan Critch, switching positions. Very unusual to see him up high like that, but he just slid in to about where he cut before and manages to get the pass and the quick stick home.
As you were saying there, very unusual. For a second, I looked down at my sheet just for
Me
stats
too.
for a second. Something coming from up there. Again, you see him coming from the attack position, not up top. And 5 straight goals here for the Gryphons now with a 3-goal lead. We're going to get to see the replay here. Nice job getting a way to open up. And he was seen just wide open there on that side for a second. Gators definitely not used to seeing him coming from the up top and getting them off guard.
And Guelph gets the ball back. It looked like Bishops pulled the ball out of the face-off circle, but it was Scott Johnston who was able to track it down. And Guelph takes control of the ball with under 8.5 minutes to go here. Burke with the ball going down low once again.
Just going to hold it down in the corner. Looks like maybe just a little bit of inversion here from Guelph as they sort of have a cluster right in the middle as Burke going behind the net, drawing a short stick down there.
Stall warning in effect.
Definitely going to start seeing these now when the last times of the game, as the referees do not want to see this game won on the fact of just the team sort of holding on to it.
Here comes Burke spinning out. He's getting close to that 35-yard line. Goes back down low to Critch. Hard shot by Critch. That one's going to go wide, and Servill's there to get possession. Stall warning immediately in effect as Servill picks that one up. He's going to go out to the starting spot. Double team. Weberg has some help, and it is stripped.
As you can see, the goaltender, Bigley, left his net there to pick up a man on defense.
Guelph's going to get the ball. There's a little push from behind, knocking Servill to the turf as he went to pick up that loose ball. And that's a tough break for the Gators.
You can hear from the booth, Gators fans not happy with that call.
I think it was the right call, though.
I believe so, too. He had his back showing to the Gators player, double team coming, and pushing him on. So it's a proper call there.
But the Gators managed to get the strip down along the goal line, getting the ball away from Jordan Critch. And Bishops has it back. They've got a little under 7 minutes to get 3 goals to tie it up and try and force overtime or get 4 for the win.
Lacrosse is a big game of momentum swing, so you just need one to sort of let those floodgates get open.
Makes such a difference. You get that boost of confidence back and you can get it rolling. Certainly Bishops has the potential to put the ball into the net quickly. Here's Ryan Dewar, who's going to be an important part of it for them. You've got to think if they're going to make it happen. Matthew Lyons on him, as he has been so much of the night. Now Lyons watching Malloy. He's going to stay with Dewar, though.
And the two of them just switching positions behind the net.
Malloy circling back around.
Definitely thought about taking a shot there for a second.
There's a shot. We're going to get a penalty. Bishops will go up a man. Hustling off the field is Christian LeBlanc. He knew he had the penalty right away, and he's just going to get over there and sit down. So here's the penalty call is Serville will go between the two players. It gets knocked loose.
Yeah, that's the push call that was a little contested there by the fans.
We're going to see the penalty coming up at the other end here. Right there, LeBlanc gets the stick up around the neck of the offensive player. And I'll tell you, watching the replay as Serville went down, there didn't seem to be a whole lot of contact.
No, it seemed like he just a little extra. He had the push on his back and felt it and went down. But Austin hard rip.
Save.
Beautiful.
We are back to full strength.
Lanny there with a beautiful save off that Austin shot.
Wortman gets the ball up. There's a long, high pass. Bit of a high-risk one, and it doesn't quite work out for them as Blaze McCullough can't manage to control that ball. We have another penalty coming. 2-3 flags down on the floor on the ground.
Referee's not happy with the way Guelph was on defense there. But Gators also on just a minute ago almost had a very risky pass themselves as Gelder tried to just feed it through down to Malloy. Ended up getting to him, but had to go through a few Guelph defenders on the way.
Last chance to get us your input on the 3 stars of the game. I think we will give you 3 stars tonight. What the heck? We're picking the player of the game for each team, but we'll throw another one in there. And
just make sure you keep sending in your tweets to @JVI Video, #3 stars, so we can make the best choice of the MVPs on this game today. Nice save there underneath again by Delaney as that was Malloy getting that shot off.
Here come the Gryphons trying to clear the ball. Pass tight in space by Hennessy. Got away. They come back the other way. Alex Millen with the ball. He passed right onto the crease. And Wortman, who's had, as we mentioned, a strong game, managed to get that ball knocked away from Malloy.
Yeah,
Here comes Curtis Knight to help out.
Seemed like that pass from Millen, little forced into Malloy, trying to get it to somebody near the net. As Knight's got a break, though. That's a scary thought right now for the Gators.
He's just going to run it out wide, though. For a second, it looked like Critch was cutting to the net from the goal line extended, coming out, but Knight looked him off. We're going to have a penalty coming to Bishops now as they get a little over-aggressive trying to get the ball back, but you're kind of forced into the last few minutes here.
We'll probably start seeing the goaltender David Bigley shading out of his net and maybe picking up one of their attackmen so the double team can come. And that's Mason Geldart, 55 for the penalty, 30 seconds. So Guelph on the power play here. Maybe trying to add another one to the lead or even just try to kill off the clock. We're going to be down to the final 3 minutes here. So game clock starts officially. We're going to try to keep the best track on the screen as we can.
Just give you an idea at least of how long there is. Mike Burke over to Curtis Knight.
All even now as Geldart was released. Guelph just sort of using the power, more of a power kill there, sort of on their power play, just killing the clock, just holding on to it.
That's all they really need to do. And there's a shot and a goal by Curtis Knight.
As we said there, we'd see Bigley jump out and play against the defender for the double team. That left Knight able to get that shot off. And I believe now 6 straight goals for the Guelph Gryphons here, and now up 13-9. We're going to see the replay here. As you can see, no goaltender in that, David Bigley off, because they're trying to set up the double team, but Guelph doing a good job of getting that pass away to Knight before the double team got into effect, and he got a wide open shot. Certain scenarios in that situation, if the game was maybe like a closer goal or two, Knight may not have taken actually that shot and actually held it to kill the clock more.
Yeah. Now with a 4-goal lead, and as you can see, coming down to the final couple of minutes. Again, that's just an estimate. It is our best estimate of the time left, but I'll give you an idea of how long is left as the clock has stopped at 3 minutes on the field.
Gators are going to have to repeat what they did at 2011 against Guelph. If they want to win this game, 4 goals in the final 2 minutes is what's going to be required of them.
That's just to force overtime at this point. Millen driving in the net. He's going to try and get a shot off. He is stripped. Nice save.
That was Malloy there picking up the rebound, getting the quick shot off. And they're going to say Gator possession, hold against Guelph.
Bishop's getting the ball back, so they do still have an opportunity.
Looks like they're going to call push against Guelph, so Bishop's ball.
The ball was down, but the Gators do get it back on the push. Here they are driving in the net. The shot, a bouncer, stopped once again by Lalani.
Goes wide. Nice job there by the long pole for number 21, Kristen LeBlanc, getting back there and getting to the end line first and getting the ball back for Guelph. Situations like that, normally it ends up being attack getting it, but good job by him for noticing that.
Nice run here by Scott Johnson to get the ball up. It looks like we're into the final minute according to our clock.
As you can see again, David Bigley popping out of the net. Gators trying to create the double team. Guelph now just passing it around the outside as the timer's on the field. So that means 30 seconds left to go in the game here. Look, see Guelph, like that could have been an open shot. Decided to pass it off, but again, after second thoughts, sometimes get the better of you when you saw that net, and it goes wide.
Liam Corbett's shot well high. Probably pleased that it's not going to make a whole lot of difference as we're into the final few seconds here. And the Guelph Gryphons will advance. The last chance here goes a little wide for Malloy, and that'll pretty much eat up the remaining time. Clock will stop momentarily, but it's not going to be enough.
And that will end the game. So final score after the first quarterfinal, Guelph 13, Bishops 9. Same thing happening last year. Guelph moving on, upsetting the Bishops Gators.
I don't know if you'd call it an upset this year or not. Going in, I was thinking going into this game, there's no upset either way. It's there's no real favorite.
No, just upset by standing numbers alone, probably. That's the only way to see it. If you're saying you get here, you can win this tournament. But unfortunately now for the Bishops Gators, that dream has ended this season, and they're going to go home again in the quarterfinals for the third straight season after winning the national championship only 3 years ago.
That is tough for Bishops, and I know your Purple Heart is bleeding a little bit, but you got to admit Guelph played a very strong game, certainly earned this win. I think Guelph's going to need to probably pick things up a little bit when they do face Brock tomorrow.
Oh, and yeah, definitely. Brock probably having, me not knowing the West as much, but Brock probably having a very sour taste in their mouth after losing that last regular season game to Guelph and costing them their perfect season. And that's definitely going to be a big one. That's the first game of the semifinals tomorrow, as Brock will take on the winner at 12 o'clock here on JVI Streams. Second quarterfinal to go tonight, 9 o'clock, as Western takes on Queens. Rematch again of last year's quarterfinal, where Queens pulled out the big upset in the end. And their winner will move on to play the undefeated McGill Redmond at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. That's the other semifinal before a 1:30 Sunday face-off for the national championship.
Make sure you stay with us in the for the 9 o'clock game. I'll tell you that that Queens win over Western last year was about as exciting as lacrosse games get. Such a fantastic sport, and that was a real pinnacle of it.
It was absolutely great to watch. Me and you did that game together last year, Stephen, and I think we were on our toes the entire time. Thinking for a while, we were thinking, oh, look, Western's going to have this. They're going to shut them down like they always do. And Queens came out firing.
Yeah, Queens had a great run, a really good start to that game, as you mentioned, and then Western really controlled the middle parts of that game. This one tonight, I think we saw Guelph get off to the 1-goal lead. Bishops came back. It was really back and forth. Bishops took that 9-7 lead, and then it was just all Guelph the rest of the way as they showed that again, that's veterans and leadership that makes such a difference for them.
5 straight goals for them. Defending national champions, probably. Maybe most of their roster, maybe only like 3 or 4 guys that don't have national championship rings on that team, so they know what it takes to win, and that means a lot actually in the end. Like knowing what it takes compared to not knowing can make a huge difference with teams. And
Bishops has a lot of veteran guys who are going to be moving on, and it's got to be a tough one for them.
Yeah, Gators, person I know, have 5 guys graduating. 55 Mason Geldart, 66 Alex Millen, 17 Joseph LaPrairie, and 88 Tyler Stensrud, as well as number 14 Brad Haddon, who unfortunately could not be here this weekend as he is home with his father who's fighting for his life. So we'd like to say a big shout out to Brad there. Been a fighter for this team for 4 years and one of the team captains.
We're going to go with our 3 stars for this game. Our third star, a very strong game for the Bishops Gators. Mason Austin had a couple of goals, almost had another one late, and he was just a threat throughout the game.
Mason always out there to play hard and will give it 100%. A lot of people don't know he took a huge hard slash against Trent last weekend, could barely walk all week.
Second star of the game tonight on the defensive side, David Nedelko from Guelph, who was so strong defensively. We could have even gone with Matthew Lyons, who I thought had a very solid game for him. But Nedelko just so solid and so good at helping get the ball up the field as well.
And being a defender, you don't always notice a guy out there on the field, and Nedelko definitely one of those guys that kept popping out on the field.
Our first star of the game, the man himself, not a huge surprise. Curtis Knight with 4 goals, including the last one, but just, again, his presence all over the field making a difference for this Gryphons team.
Curtis Knight, probably the name we said more than anybody else here tonight, and that's the way we sort of go. Kept saying, oh, look who's got the ball again, Knight. And he gets the first star, and he's definitely going to be the biggest key to this offense if Guelph wants to repeat as champions.
We'll see. We're trying to get hold of Patty Gregoire down on the field to see if he has a player for an interview. Just holding on. I think he might be trying to chase somebody down the hallway. Remember, at 9 o'clock, the second game of this night will take place. And that will be the Western Mustangs and the Queens Gales. Should be a terrific game. And Pat Gregoire is back in the booth with us, so we will not have a player interview for right now. So we're going to wrap things up right there. Come back to us in an hour. 8:55. Be here 5 minutes early. We'll have some intro for you and some good information for the game. And we'll look forward to talking to you then. I'm Stephen Stamp for Malcolm Westhaver and Pat Gregoire. Thanking you on behalf of JVI Sports Network. We'll see you in an hour.